Students, from today onward, we will discuss water relation in plants. Before going into detail about the water relations in plants, first of all, we should be familiar with some terminologies which will help in understanding the water relations. First of all, you should be very clear about the difference between hydrothors and stomatas. I hope you have heard the word hydrothors. Hydrothors is basically the opening which is present at the tips or margins of the leaf, and it's like normal epidermal cells. As the other epidermal cells are in shape, same will be in hydrothors. While in case of stomatas, you all know that stomatas are basically specialized cells which are guarded or which are protected by guard cells and present on upper, lower, or both sides of the epidermis. And hydrothors, another difference between hydrothors and stomatas is that hydrothors remain open 24 hours. They don't have the ability to open and close, while stomatas are able to open and close because of those specialized guard cells which help them in the opening and closure whenever whichever is necessary or whichever is required. Then another terminology in water relation you will heard is the guttation. What is guttation? Guttation is basically the loss of water through hydrothors. As I have told you in the previous slide that hydrothors are basically the openings which are present on the margins or edges of the plant, and they remains open 24 hours. So guttation is basically that loss of water which occurs through those openings or those hydrothors. While exudation is basically loss of water through cut or injured parts of the plants. Means if there is any injury because of any insect attack or because of any disease, then if water is losing or water is removing from the plant, then this process will be called as exudation. While transpiration is basically the loss of water through stomatas, and this loss of water will occur whenever the stomatas are open. Then what is the difference between guttative water and dew? That also comes in our mind, that how can we differentiate that what if the water present on the plant or on the leaf of the plant is guttative water or dew, because dew is also present on the surface of the plant. As we can differentiate between these two, guttative water and dew, because guttative water, as I have told you in the process, in the definition of guttation, that guttation is loss of water through hydrothors. So guttative water should be from the hydrothors, and as hydrothors are present on the tips or margins of the leaves, so guttative water will only be present on the tips or margins of the leaf in the morning, while dew could be present on any part of the leaf. So next definition which should be very clear in our mind is absorption, adsorption, and imbibition. Absorption is basically the water uptake without swelling of the cell. Means volume of the cell will not increase, and this also result in the dissolution. Dissolution means if there is uptake of the water, then there should be some dissolution of minerals, some salts that will be present in that case, or this process or process of absorption is irreversible. While in case of imbibition, there is increase in the volume because of the water uptake, and however there is no dissolution, no minerals or salts will be dissolved or in the water, and this is the reversible process. Whenever the water content is reduced outside the environment from the as compared to the plant within the plant, then water will be removed from the plant. And adsorption is basically the attachment of the water particles, water with the surface of charged particles. Whenever there is any charged particle, then water will adhere or will cling with that charged particle, and this also there will also no dissolution, and this is also reversible process, because whenever those charged particles are removed, water will be removed. Then turgidity and succulence is another important thing which will be very much used in the water relation. Turgidity is basically self-filled with water, but volume will not increase, and because of filling of the water within the cell will exert pressure on the walls, and walls become turgid, and that pressure is called as turgor pressure. Wall in return will also exert a pressure on the in opposite direction, which we'll call wall pressure, and in this case the cell becomes turgid, and phenomena is called as turgidity. While succulence is basically increase in the volume of the cell with uptake of water, and cell becomes succulent, and phenomena is known as succulence. You are very much you have already observed the phenomena of turgidity in various plants. For example, in herbaceous plants which don't have woody stem, whenever they are standing erect, this erect position is because of the phenomena of turgidity. While succulents, for example, in desert conditions where water is not available in excess and plenty of amount, so plants make the reserves of water in form of succulents, and this is very much familiar, very much evident in plants of desert environment. So, next is the potential. What is the potential? Potential is basically the tendency to do with a work. With increase in solute concentration, water concentration decreases, and hence potential of the compound will also decreases. And what is basically the osmosis? Osmosis is basically the separation of a certain solution from pure water through a semi-permeable membrane. Osmosis is basically separation of the pure of the certain solution from pure water through a semi-permeable membrane is osmosis. Then what is the difference between osmotic pressure and osmotic potential? As I have mentioned that osmosis is basically the separation of the solution from the semi-permeable membrane. Then the pressure which is necessary to stop this process of osmosis is called osmotic pressure. However, the potential is basically the ability to do osmosis. Pressure which is necessary to stop the process of osmosis, this is called osmotic pressure, while potential is basically the ability and it is basically negative and equal and opposite to the osmotic pressure, and it is basically the ability to do the process of osmosis. Osmotic potential is created due to the presence of solutes that lower the water potential and develop a negative pressure, which is known as osmotic potential. These are the some definitions which will help you in understanding the water relations of the plant. So, in next lecture, we will discuss in detail about the various water relations. Thank you.